Hey guys, what's up? Chris here for BeerGeekNation.com. Today I wanted to talk about the recent acquisition of Ballast Point Brewing. I guess this was maybe 3 weeks ago. I just haven't had a time. I kind of wanted to wrap my head around the whole thing and figure out what I wanted to talk about before I actually shot a video for it. So it's a little bit late. I apologize, but I think it's still kind of relevant. Recently, Ballast Point was bought by the company that brews Corona for $1 billion. That's billion with a B. This is absolutely incredible to me. Is Ballast Point actually valued at $1 billion? I find that really hard to believe. But then I kind of started doing research on it. I started reading some business papers on it and why they actually think it could be valued at $1 billion. It comes down to brand recognition, brand quality, the amount of sales. Ballast Point last year, they increased their sales by 200%. So that right away, you know, was a big kind of just a greeting for somebody to buy them. The articles, and I apologize where I read it, but the article said, based on brand recognition, Sculpin, Ballast Point in general, has some very, very highly sought after beers that consumers view as very, very good. So the consumer look, the consumer view, overall view of Ballast Point is incredibly high, and that goes a long way. Their distribution system is pretty wide. It's already kind of established, so that goes a long way. Now, where do they get this $1 billion? Well, I'm sure there's accountants and all these guys trying to figure this out, but $1 billion was the final offering. So you got to wonder if InBev, if they got a hell of a deal. They got Goose Island for $39 million, so they got a hell of a deal on there. So that brings up the point, $1 billion. A craft brewery was sold for $1 billion, which to me, when I first saw that, was like a big red flag. I'm like, oh no, here it goes. The bubble is about to burst. This reminds me of when all the venture capital guys were putting billions and billions of dollars into these tech startups, these website startups, and then a couple years later, poof, they were all gone. This is what I'm afraid we're about to see happen. I think all this beer, all this money is going to be thrown at these craft breweries that are going to be a little bit overvalued, and then a couple years down the road, they're going to see it was a mistake. Kind of the dust is going to settle. The breweries are still going to be around. I just don't think we're going to see as many acquisitions as we're currently seeing. So between you, me, and the wall, if you want to sell your brewery, now is the time to do it, because you're probably never going to get a better price than you're going to get right now. It's still a relatively new thing with these big kind of conglomerates buying up craft breweries. And so they're just kind of throwing money at whoever will take it. So like I said, if you're going to sell out, or not sell out, that's not the right way. If you're going to sell your brewery to another partner, let's say, now's the time to do it, because I think the kind of the money bubble of craft beer is about to be burst. I really do. I feel it's going to be just like the tech sector, where they were throwing all this money at it, and then a couple years later, it's gone. All these websites are out of business. I don't think that's going to happen with the breweries, because it's a different, business model, obviously. But I don't think we're going to see the acquisitions that we're seeing now, especially at the money level we're seeing now. There might be acquisitions. There's always going to be acquisitions, but they're not going to be quite as high profile as this. Like I said, Ballast Point sold for $1 billion, and good for them. I mean, they make great beer, make fantastic beer. Sculpin, Habanero Sculpin, all the Sculpin variants are some of my favorite beers. They make some great stouts, porters, just awesome stuff. So again, more power to them, really more power to them. It was incredible when I read that. So with that said, folks, remember life's too short. Drink amazing beers. Cheers.